The Oluwo Fish Market, also known as the Ekpe Fish Market, is the biggest fish market in Lagos State. It's located in Ekpe, Lagos State, Nigeria. The Oluwo Fish Market traders are mostly women because of the chain of distribution, which allows the fishermen to catch the fish and deliver them to the traders, who in turn sell them to the retailers. This strategically located fish market is the biggest in Lagos and reported to be as old as the city of Ekpe, even though the date of the official commissioning of the market is dated 10th November 1989. The name of the market is derived from the name of the family that sold the land it occupies to the state government, the Oluwo family, while chief that most locals call it is the traditional title of the Oluwos. The market is said to have been initially located at the marina front, a short distance from the present abode, before it became too small to accommodate the number of traders' influx. For anyone to have heard of the Ekpe town being referred to as the fish basket of the state, the root of the name lies in the significance of this fish market as a major producer and exporter of fish to various parts of its parent state, Lagos, and Nigeria at large. The category of most food items sold at the market makes it fall into the category of wet market. Fish, as well as wildlife, typically known as bushmeat, are common sights at the Oluwo fish market. The animals are rather brought in alive or dead, and are also sold in the best form that the buyers prefers. However, the COVID-19 virus outbreak created another dimension to the existence of Oluwo fish market in Lagos, as there are high concerns about wet markets being the hotspot for zoonotic diseases that causes virus like COVID-19. This led to the brief closure of the fish market by the Lagos State Ministry of Health in order to reduce the possibility of another zoonotic disease outbreak in the state. In 2021, the federal government of Nigeria started the rehabilitation of the Ekpe fish market to meet international standard. The improvement of the market was designed to meet international standards, improve earnings, and encourage commercial activities.
VOP TV now.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
In a world where power shapes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to the talk, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the Atlas.
First time, that I was among the first that started this conversation as regards to the amendment bill, and we discussed it last week. And of course, Senate also resumed their first plenary for the year last week, and they said they were not delaying it, that they would look into it, and afterwards they enacted a new committee to see through that particular situation. But the delay actually, continued up until this week, and now this is what our Senate is telling us. And all we just want is just a free and fair election. But of course, we'll be looking into this conversation. We'll look into it and look into even more situations surrounding the electoral process in Nigeria. Join the conversation with experts inside the Citizen Perspective. Share your thoughts with us. I am Savior Udo. Let's look into other news stories with details. I don't need constitution to advise leaders, says Emir Sanusi. Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has said that he doesn't need a constitution to advise the president or state governors on issues affecting the nation. Sanusi emphasized that traditional rulers remain essential pillar of nation building and sound leadership, and that his authority to offer counsel comes from the people elite. Speaking through a media parley, Sanusi made several assertions. He also emphasized that importance of inclusive political participation, calling for increased women's representation in nation-building efforts. He condemned domestic violence against women, of course, describing it as a wrong and, of course, abuse of power. And this particular one is actually tied to one of our senators, but let's leave that particular one and move on. Away from that particular one, still the Senate conversation here. Senate Electoral Act amendment designed to enable rigging, says ADC. The African Democratic Congress has actually condemned the Senate's decision to reject key provision in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, warning that changes could weaken the credibility of future elections and, of course, undermine Nigerians' democratic process. The party also criticized the Senate for refusing to approve electronic transmission of election results and provision for electronic download of voters' card. ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said that Senate action were an attempt to undermine the will of Nigerians and, of course, manipulate future elections. The party called on Conference Committee on the Electoral Act to reject the Senate's submission and pass amendment that align with democratic principles. All eyes on the Senate, just as I said. Nobody should challenge Wike on performance, says Dan Ulasi. A chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has actually made this assertion, saying that no one should actually talk about the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, saying nobody actually has done more than what he has done. Talking about his performance, Ulasi cited the visible infrastructure project across Abuja and Wike's record as former governor of Rivers State as evidence of his performance. Will also challenge critics to physically inspect ongoing and completed projects in Abuja, saying, "Go to most parts of Abuja today. You will see what Wike is doing." He has also defended Wike's performance as governor of Rivers State, saying his record speaks for itself. I don't know if this particular man needs any favor from Wike, because I've never seen anyone, even Larry has not said more than this, but I've never seen anyone who has actually, made a case for Wike in a short while. But of course, he's entitled to his opinion. Let's move away from that particular one and come back to the next conversation as regards to Isaac Fayose. ADC dead on arrival. Peter Obi can never be president, says Isaac Fayose, brother of former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, has expressed disappointment over Nigeria's democracy, describing the opposition as weak and ineffective. He criticized the National Assembly for rejecting key electoral reforms, including mandatory electronic transmission of election results, and accused the judiciary of being weakening. Fayose also warned that Nigeria is sliding towards a one-party state, lamenting the concentration of power in the hands of a few. "We have finally lost Nigeria. Electoral reform is gone," he said. And of course, the APC chair, Yiwatda, ADC, has no match as against the ruling party. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Professor Nentawi, has actually made this assertion. He said that the opposition party, African Democratic Party, ADC, is not a serious challenge to the ruling party ahead of the 2027 general election. He claimed that the APC has a significant numerical advantage over the ADC, with 5 or 6 APC members for every one ADC member. He also downplayed the influence of key opposition leaders, including former Senate President Dave Mark, and criticized opposition party for relying on media appearances rather than grassroots mobilization. Okay, so in as much as the ADC has been doing a lot, but this particular 2027 election should not be, taken lightly. So let's just wait to see what will happen in the, coming days. And let's talk about this particular important one here. Kwara State attack. Bandits operate for 10 hours before soldiers arrive. Armed bandits attack a Woro community in Kwara State, killing dozens of people and destroying several villages. The village head, Umar Bel Saliu, has actually said that the attackers operated for about 10 hours before security operative arrived. The attackers alleged that they came from Mumuda terrorist group and of course began their operation from around 5 p.m. and left before soldiers arrived at 3 a.m. the following day. The community had been left exposed for soldiers previously stationed, which they were actually withdrawn, and they don't also know who actually called for the withdrawal of the soldiers as at the time, and of course they came in late as well. Following that particular earlier attack, Saliu claimed that the assault followed the community's rejection of the group's ideology and dismissed claims that the killings were religiously motivated. And away from that particular one, NBA president urges young lawyers to prioritize competence. The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mazi Afam Azigwe, SAN, has called on young lawyers to prioritize integrity and skills to navigate the shifting demand of the legal industry. Speaking at the NBA Young Lawyers Forum in Maiduguri Branch Summit, Azigwe emphasized the importance of competence in building trust with a client, commanding respect within the justice system, and sustain relevance in the profession. If you're talking about the young lawyers, you should also talk about other judges, and of course the senior ones as well, because we want a total overhaul as regards to our judicial system. And we want our judicial system to look inward themselves and give us a transparent judgment. That's all we've been requesting. To join the conversation, kindly call the number 09044732605. Follow us on social media at VOP TV Live on YouTube. We're Voice of the People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, we'll be taking the first and only conversation here. Senate betrays Nigeria, democracy in jeopardy. You don't go anywhere, please stay tuned to our break.
the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts its every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not speed. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
And welcome back to the program. It is the People's Voice on Voice of the People Television. The Nigerian Senate has rejected a proposal to make electronic transmission of election results mandatory, sparking criticism from opposition parties and, of course, civil society groups. The decision was made during a consideration of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, with lawmakers opting to retain the current provision that allows the Independent National Electoral Commission to determine the mode of result transmission. And of course, a few parties have actually come out to, give their comments. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has condemned the Senate decision, describing it as a deliberate attempt to weaken democratic safeguards and prepare the ground for electoral manipulation. The party argued that the electronic transmission of results is critical to protecting the will of Nigerian voters and preventing electoral abuse. Of course, the INEC has also finalized the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general elections, with the Commission's chairman emphasizing the need for a thorough cleanup of voters' registrar and, of course, to prevent abnormalities. The Commission is also set to conduct by-election in Rivers and Kano State on the same day. Critics argue that the Senate's decision is a regressive step that will undermine the credibility and transparency of Nigeria's electoral process. They are calling on the Conference Committee on Electoral Acts to reject the Senate's submission and pass amendments that align with democratic principle. All right, we're now being joined by Nwoye Chijoke, Attitude Political Social Analyst, and of course a corporate consultant. Hello, Chijoke, are you there? Good morning. Chijoke, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. How is Canada today?
Yeah, just cold and cool.
You better don't let cold affect you there. We are talking about amendment bill here. So your body should be hot. We're looking for free and fair election in Nigeria. Okay, so welcome on board. Let me bring you back to the studio. Of course, I will join physically here in the studio by Mr. Obong Thompson, a journalist and a political analyst. You're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you, Savio.
You're welcome on board. I even love the fact that you're dressed like this. So I'll be seeing you like one of the Red Canvas men, I'll be seeing him like one of the senators from the House. So any of my grievances, whatsoever I feel that I was to tell them, I'll just tell you to help me tell them. I think that's fine.
Yeah, we are here to do the job. We get it done properly.
And of course, we also have the only lady in our midst here this wonderful afternoon. We have precious Miss Osa Francis, economist, branding and advertising personnel. You're welcome on board.
Thank you so much.
Pressure, is this about is it because of the electoral bill? That's why your voice is this low? No, you have to cheer up.
Not at all.
Nigeria is our country. We're still here. We don't have a choice.
Yes, thank
you know, let me start off with Mr. Obong Thompson. I remember sometime last week, I brought up this conversation, and we talked about it at length. I think it was one of the Wednesday show, I and Mr. Ives, and we asked the reason why our electoral amendment bill has not been passed till date, And of course, afterwards, so many, bodies started calling on National Assembly, and the Senate gave their statement. They said, they were not delaying any situation, but they were taking their time before they created a new committee. Even after the House of Reps have actually gone through that same process, but they said they needed to do it again. And now this is the best they can actually come up with. In as much as your brother from Akwa Ibom State, the president of the Senate, Akpabio, has also said that, some people are misquoting him. They are saying that he's canceling, the electronic transmission totally. That's not what they are saying, that they are misquoting him and all of that. He has said so much, but I'd like to take it from you. What do you think as regards to what the Senate has actually passed? What are the implications?
Yeah, you quite understand that policies is what shapes, the progress of any particular country, and gives value to whatsoever, and give values and also credibility to whatever government intend to do. So the Electoral Act has been a matter of, contention for so long. And what are we going to be talking about now? Are we going to spell out what the word mandatory, transmission of election result is all about, or statutorily, or compulsory? But in the absence of all these things, the Senate has come up to say, okay, after deliberations and brainstorming, this is the best they can do, that they want to pass a law such that the transmission of results can take place wherever it is possible. And also the collection in the actual sense, just as it was done in 2022 Electoral Act, that, because we are talking about some challenges that can be faced by electoral umpires at the field of election. So the Senate have looked into all these matters, and they realize there might be challenges along the line. So they still want to, stick to the situation whereby INEC can, collect results at the polling unit and then send it to the local government collation centers, which then will now be forwarded to the Abuja, for computation into the IREF. But Nigerians are not so happy with that decisions. Then even the opposition political parties has, come out to say they disagree, and many say they are disappointed in the action of the Senate. But that is the way it is, And one thing you need to realize is that it's not all about the policies that are being made, but the implementation matters a lot at this point in time. So whatsoever policy or law that is being passed, what should be the concern of Nigerians is the implementation. Will it be patriotically or effectively or efficiently implemented? That should be our desire to know at this point in time.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take it to Chijioke. Hello, Chijioke, are you there? Hello, Chijioke.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm here, Savio. Can you hear me?
All right, so the Senate has actually decided to, will I say, pass their electoral amendment bill, and of course, still, picking from the 2022, electoral amendment bill that they used. And I believe we all had issues with that particular one. But not only that, they're making it look as if they're giving INEC, the total power to make decisions by saying that, it is left for INEC to make the decisions on how and what they would actually use in transmitting, the results. But not only that, of course, some people were actually arguing that if we're talking about the electronic transmission system, sometimes it also malfunctions. Sometimes, network issues and all of that. So do you think that Senate's decision is a reflection of lack of trust for the electronics, or it is about them? So I would like you to just, give clarity on this.
Well, thank you very much. I think that the Senate, they knows what they are doing, because if you are familiar with the 2022 Electoral Act, you will also see that it also gave INEC the full right and the full power to do whatever they wanted to do. And that's why they did whatever they wanted to do, because the 2022 Electoral Act repeatedly states that INEC may determine either to use the beavers, INEC may determine either to transmit the result electronically, or determine to change, or determine when and how to, transmit the result. So it's actually what happened 2023 election that caused all these mistrust and all these problems that we even had to go to court. So this is the loophole that the APC used during the 2023 election, and I think that that's what they also want to use this time around, because they can make it, they can compel INEC to mandatorily transmit this result electronically. Yes, of course, the INEC can also come out to say electronic glitches, but if they should have set this new act in a way whereby that everything that INEC needs to make sure that this election is being conducted well without these excuses, they can put it in the act. So I believe that all these things that they are doing, it is all for their own gain. As you can see, it's still the ruling party. The Senate president is under APC. So it's all the things that they used to get into power during the 2023 election. We all know what happened in 2023 election. So it's all to their own benefit. They can actually do these things well. Set it mandatory. The electronic transmission of results should be mandatory, no matter the glitches, anything. Then we can follow that up. You understand? So it is all their game.
Okay. Chijoke, you've actually said it is all their game, and some would actually argue with you that no, this is where the Senate is actually coming in from as regards to how they are even working towards improving the electoral system, and of course also vying for transparency and credibility. But some people would actually say that if you are not mandating this particular electronic transmission of results, then we're not actually buying to whatsoever you're doing. But let me bring it back to the studio. Precious, what's your take as regards to this? When you saw the news yesterday, what were your thoughts?
Thank you so much. First, I was not surprised.
Why are you all of you? Why is everyone always saying they are not surprised? When you say you are not surprised, that means you already. Let me use the vernacular word, like you have seen our INEC finish, right? You're not meant to say you're not surprised.
I mean, we all witnessed the last election.
Okay.
And we saw how it was. We saw the whole propaganda. We saw everything. So when you've been in Nigeria, that is in Nigeria, you know what to expect. You're not surprised when informations like this pop up. At this time, I think people have gotten to that level where they're just watching and say, okay, let things play out. Let's see what will happen. The question I ask is, if the ruling party did not have the majority seats in the National Assembly, will this kind of thing occur? Do you understand my question? If it was widely spread among different parties and
that they have enough minorities.
Yes. Do you understand? I think the voice of the people will be more, it will be more amplified.
But don't forget, the same minorities were the one that went to the president of the Senate, and he said it on national TV, that they came to meet him, that he should take them to the president. They want to move to the mandates.
Okay, so
they all joined.
We all understand that in Nigeria, it's very difficult to sit and unseat, to unseat a sitting government.
So you feel incumbency is still strong, even when so many people are making assertions that they don't think so?
I feel that the ruling party has successfully done a lot in this country in wielding power so strong. And except people come to that realization that they have to do something, I think nothing will change.
I would like to ask, what do you think they should do, the people?
The people have a lot of power. ADC is doing their best, for example, in saying that this is a complete sabotage of what we stand as a democratic state. But I think the people makes democracy. That's the definition of democracy.
Okay.
I think the less focus should just be on what can each individual do? What can collectively as a people, what can we all do together? How can our voice be amplified? When can we say enough is enough? Because like you said when we began, I said something. I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
So for me to say I wasn't surprised, that means
you already understand the modus operandi, what will play out.
Until we decide that as a country, do you understand?
Yeah.
We are done with a lot of these policies that endanger democracy. Things will not change.
Okay, so what are you saying? Are you asking the people to come out to protest? What exactly are you asking people to say? Because don't forget that after the NSAS that has actually come and gone, we don't think we've ever had any other peaceful protest in Nigeria anymore. If you try it, is that how you are arrested? Or the day you call for the protest, that is the day few people or so many people would not even join you.
Okay.
And you know what this means.
Yeah, definitely.
Just look at the Makoko. There are some people there.
Of course.
Look at the Free Nnamdi Kanu. They said they were chanting war song. The police in Lagos said they were singing song that has to do with them. So when you look at the trajectory as regards to the protests in this administration, there is no fair ground for anything protest. And we're not also we're not advising anarchy here.
True.
Okay, but if you're talking about the people coming out to say, oh, enough is enough, we're tired, maybe you have other solutions you want to prefer. But when it comes to this particular one as regards to protest, there's nothing of such. That cannot be done again.
Okay, so we don't have to, when I say the people, I don't mean you should go out and start, of course we know where we are. But then, if there's a drum, for example, and everybody adds their quota before it becomes full.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of people who say, oh, I'm no longer interested in Nigerian politics. Do you understand? I'm not interested in this, I'm not interested in that. You can add your own quota no matter what field, whether you're in government, whether you're not in government, whatever field you're in, you can add your own quota. Your voice matters. We don't have to just sit back and say, okay, let what will be happen. No matter the level that you are, add your own voice. And like I said, I applaud ADC for coming out to say that, yes, this is a complete sabotage of the electoral process, a complete degradation of democracy. But we can go ahead to say, we as the people, we want this kind of election where, while we're voting or when we finish our voting at the polling unit, we should actually see what we have voted for, who we have voted for, and the exact results, and not everything being taken to a collation center. And don't forget, during the last election, we saw what happened in the collation centers. In Rivers State, for example.
You said we saw. I might not have seen it.
Oh, we saw, because everything was on social media.
Mr. Obong, did you see anything?
So,
I might not have seen it.
We saw a lot.
Okay. My colleague here is on the right path, because the only power that an average Nigerian has is his vote, and the power to defend that vote, and to defend that vote in such a way that it counts. I think that is the way and manner the people can say enough is enough to the government of the day by defending his or her vote in his or her polling unit. That will go a long way, because in the area of where we have technology, or in modern day technology, platform that we have today, all results has to be collated, and the polling agents has to, circulate the results.
So are you saying technology can be trusted in this particular time?
Pardon?
Are you saying technologies can be trusted in this particular time?
Well,
because that's the same technology that they will tell you that there's no network something has happened. Oh, you did your thumbprint as regards to accreditation. Your thumbprint is not coming up and things like that. So what's happening?
The fear we are having today, is the Nigerian people as dubious as they can be. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the way it is, And you find out that in a situation like that, you see some, people coming out to tell you it's an AI generated result. You understand? So
these days we've been seeing. Let me stop. I'm sorry. Let me digress. Let me digress a little. These days we've been seeing enough of AI. One of your senators who was meant to actually be part of, the committee or even push a case for Nigeria as regards to the amendment bill, he was there. We didn't know it was a misuse, massaging, a lady's foot in a private jet. And he said,
were you there?
And he said that is AI. Just to portray the point. He said it's AI. So who am I to say it was real? So that was AI.
That can also pop up during the 2027 election, and they can still come out to tell you, okay, that particular result circulating in the social media was AI generated. So this is the danger that this poses, for Nigerian. I think, the INEC can be trusted. But the problem we are having now is a situation where Nigeria election. But when you talk of the credibility of the electoral umpire, I think the presidency has done its best. It's now left for the Nigerian people to put the institution into check, engage in any more practices, against the voting, the voters. So the people should want to, know what is happening in INEC, be abreast with the informations, and such as the reaction we have in this current passage of electoral bill by the Senate, where so many people have come out to, show their displeasure. That's how active Nigerians should be, such that before any implementation of any policy, the loopholes should be objected, whether we like it or not, such that the umpire will know that the people are watching and they will not take it kindly if anything goes wrong.
Okay. Chijoke, let me bring it to you. Chijoke, are you there?
Yeah, Xavier.
I think it's safe for me to say the snowman. All right. Chijoke, what are the potential implications of the Senate's decision on Nigerians' international reputation? I love the fact that you're actually joining the program from Canada, and of course, you've seen how the country in Canada actually carry out their electoral processes and how they do it seamlessly. And there is no issue. We don't hear any ballot snatching. And just remember the Anambra State election where people were caught with raw cash, with their tags on. Until date, we're yet to hear anything from the EFCC as regards to that particular situation. But of course, I'd like to ask you, do you think that Nigerians still has a good, will I say, integrity when it comes to the international bodies or international, communities, other climes? Do we still have good reputation out there?
Well, there's a lot. I'd
like you to take this in just 1 minute because we're pressed for time. Please go ahead.
Okay, I will try as much as possible. But there's a lot of things wrong with Nigeria. So when you talk about the international body, there's a lot of things that that they worry about. It's not just our electoral act, the politicians. I think earlier last year you had that the Canada court was the PDP and APC as a terrorist group. So you see, it's not just about our electoral act. It's everything that has to do with Nigeria. But the only thing I would want to say is that INEC is not a person, it's an agency, but it depends on the decision that the House of Assembly makes. And one of these decisions is by making sure that they create an independent electoral offense commission that will not just monitor the electoral process, but will also be able to prosecute INEC, even the INEC chairman, if they are found guilty of any electoral malpractice. So the Senate should be able to reduce their power because the INEC has enough power to misuse and misbehave. So they have to reduce it to only organizing and conducting election. and then create an independent electoral affairs commission on its own, and they will monitor this election. And then finally, which is one of the problems that we had in the 2022 Electoral Act, there was no clear sanction or penalty for INEC failures. So the Senate should be able to, at least if they are going to amend this act, they should be able to make a clear sanction or penalty to INEC specifically. If you fail to do what you are mandated to do on the Constitution, this is what you are going to face. And then when you do these kind of things, I think that this there will be a fear of consequences in INEC when they decide to to misbehave. So I think that's all. That's all I had to
Thank you so much. But Chijioke, I am so sorry that I might have to just disappoint you that it might take a very long time before that particular one can actually happen.
The thing is that we just have to tell them,
because if you are talking about
what you can do,
if you are talking about the same INEC, of course I'm not the one saying it here. Adams Oshomole said that they were rubber stamp. He called their Senate a rubber stamp. Is it the same Senate that when the INEC chairman came for a screening, he came with an executive, one of his friends, that's a governor of Kogi State, which was wrong. But afterwards, even some people were saying, no, let him just go. And they said, no, Akpabio now mentioned, no, let us actually ask him questions. Let's ask him questions and all of that because Trump is watching. But that's not the case. Let's just leave this whole conversation right now because of first of time.
We know that we know what they are doing.
No problem.
We know that they know the right things to do. They just don't want to do it. So
no problem.
let's be looking at.
Thank you so much, Chijioke.
We tell their story,
Thank you so much, Chijioke, for being part of the program. Precious, in just 30 seconds, you have your last closing notes to actually.
Okay, like he rightly said, checks and balances. If there can be effective checks and balances, I think things would work better. Just effective checks and balances for the independent electoral committee, commission, sorry. Yeah. So if their powers can actually be checkmated, and when they default, there are sanctions, there are things that they can actually be held accountable.
So who sanctions who sanctions the National Assembly?
That's what we're trying. That's what we're trying to talk about here.
Okay, so I think this conversation would have to be adjourned. Let's see. It's a developing story. Okay, so let's see what will happen as regards to this particular electoral amendment bill, and afterwards we'll see if it is okay for us to bring it back here. This is how far we can actually go on the show. Thank you so much, Mr. Albon Thompson. Thank you so much, Chijioke, and thank you so much, Precious, for being part of the show.
Mr. Albon Thompson, I greet you, sir.
All right, this is how far we can actually go on the program. Coming up next is a locker room. Of course, if you love the world of sport, I'd like to stay put. Don't forget that the views and opinions expressed by our analysts are solely their own and do not reflect that of VOP Media. Don't give up because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last, but tough will do last. Whatsoever you face will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. My name remains Xavier Hodo. Have a good evening. Rest.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice.